Now, a stage drama revealing the hidden tragedy of a group of German soldiers in World War II will be performed in the UK for the first time this week. The MITZVAH explores the history and fate of tens of thousands of men who served in Hitler's military, who were of Jewish descent. Well, Roger Grunwald is behind it and joins me now. Now, it's not an aspect of history that we're that familiar with hearing about, so why did you want to focus on it?
Well, you're absolutely right. It's actually an aspect of the German Jewish experience that virtually nobody knows about. A book that was written a number of years ago, the seminal work in the field called Hitler's Jewish Soldiers by Brian Mark Rigg, which kind of uncovered this heretofore hidden history. But it's very personal for me because I'm myself and the product of two German Jews, and the legacy of the Holocaust in that area had played an important role in kind of the formation of myself, and I wanted so the project became very personal. And I felt it was important for people to know about this, and in some ways to use the power of the theater to touch people emotionally in a way that a talk just by itself or a book can't.
And you've chosen quite a unique way of telling this story because it's a one-person play. Why did you want to do that?
Well, that's part of, I guess, the very personal nature of this. When I was working on this with my director and collaborator and co-writer of the play, Annie McGreevy, who's a brilliant actor and director, we felt it was going to be important, and she has a long history working with solo artists and being a solo artist herself. But it also has a lot to do with a promise that I made to my mom after she died, a posthumous promise, if you will. My mother, who is a survivor of Auschwitz, as many survivors still do who are still alive, spoke at high schools and colleges and universities and religious organizations, teaching history experientially from her own experience. But her generation is dying out. The generation of survivors is dying out. And who's going to carry the torch? So that posthumous promise that I made to her was that I was going to leverage the power of the theater and use my skills that I developed actually here in London, back at Lambda a number of years ago, to continue the teaching of history and to reveal this aspect. It's a very important thing, and people have been very responsive and very engaged by it, which I'm thrilled now to bring to the Finchley Reform Synagogue tomorrow night as part of their Yom HaShoah, Day of Remembrance.
Roger, it's a fascinating topic. Thank you very much indeed for coming in to explain that to us.
Well, thank you, Alison, for having me.
No problem.